Throughout this video, you will learn about the Teach Model. The Teach Model was created as a tool and resource for educators to craft meaningful evaluations and assist students in improving their work throughout the term. By providing feedback that is timely, explicit, appropriate, considerate, and helpful, you can provide meaningful feedback that positively impacts your students' academic performance. Using the Teach Model through Kritik provides students the opportunities to develop foundational skills like communication, critical thinking, and discipline while applying their knowledge of course material and concepts. Let's break down the 5 elements of the Teach Model. The first element of the Teach Model is timely. Providing students with timely feedback is vital to their ability to improve. Feedback should be given before progressing to a new subject, allowing students to master the topic at hand before moving on to new or more challenging topics. This is especially true for curriculums where prerequisite skills are needed. Feedback should be timely and allow students to process the feedback and apply it to their future assignments. For example, students should receive feedback on the rough drafts of their essays before composing their final copy. The second element of the Teach Model is explicit. Feedback should be explicit about what can be improved, where it can be improved, and how it can be improved. In some cases, feedback should include examples. Measurable feedback allows students to reflect on how they can apply their knowledge for future growth and empower them to transfer their learning into relevant future experiences. The third element of the Teach Model is appropriate. Feedback should be appropriate to the student, the level of the course, and the content of the course. For feedback to be appropriate, it should include the use of a rubric. This shows students the alignment between the assessment grade and the assessment feedback. You should also consider the level of the learner and the level of the feedback. For example, students in a second grade course will need simplified feedback, whereas students in a high school course will need more detailed, in-depth feedback. It is also important to ensure feedback is appropriate to the type of assessment. For example, a multiple choice quiz will have less in-depth feedback than a reflection paper. The fourth element of the Teach Model is considerate. Feedback should use sensitive language and be unbiased. For example, if the learner did poorly on the assignment, your feedback should include areas for future improvement, but should also highlight at least one great element of the student's work. You can also consider using a variety of feedback methods, including video, audio, or written feedback. This provides a variety of students with feedback considerate to their learning style. The last element of the Teach Model is helpful. Using the other 4 elements of the Teach Model, determine if your feedback is helpful. Does your feedback provide students with specific actions that they can take to improve their future performance? Your feedback should not only identify areas for improvement, but also offer solutions that will improve your students' future performance. Using the 5 elements of the Teach Model, you can provide your students with meaningful feedback that they can use to master your course learning outcomes and improve their future performance. Providing feedback is not a component of teaching, it is teaching. By using the Teach Model, you are teaching your students where they excel and where they can improve their future performance. Kritik is a peer assessment platform that utilizes the Teach Model to enhance the learning and teaching experience and help students learn deeper. Our peer-to-peer feedback tools ensure that feedback is timely, appropriate, and personalized in order to maximize learning and encourage critical thinking. With Kritik, students are at the center of the learning process and learn how to provide timely, explicit, appropriate, considerate, and helpful feedback. Kritik helps transform traditional education models by introducing a student-centered learning approach to encourage students to learn by doing and learn through mistakes. This model shows the 3 layers of education following the Teach Model. Firstly, students learn to assess the work and the work for their peers. Secondly, educators create learning objectives and outcomes, and then find quality resources to guide students towards mastery of subjects and skills. And thirdly, institutions foster an appropriate learning environment for all students and educators, and focus on student performance by adopting the philosophy of competency-based education. Instructors can use Kritik to teach students how to create meaningful work and critically evaluate their peers' work following the Teach Model. Thus, students at all levels and stages of learning can learn in the same classroom. Kritik helps close learning gaps by providing timely, personalized feedback for each student. Here are some Kritik peer assessment features that introduce dynamic benefits of active learning and critical skill development. Kritik has 3 stages of peer learning: the create stage, evaluate stage, and feedback stage. Peer assessment allows students to critically assess their own work while evaluating their peers and are encouraged to provide meaningful feedback. With Kritik, professors can scaffold larger assignments while introducing a feedback loop, so every student gets a chance to actively apply their knowledge and understanding of course content to their work. In the evaluate stage, students follow a rubric to facilitate appropriate feedback and provide personalized feedback with the written evaluations to explain the creator's strengths and weaknesses. Students learn to be accountable for their learning and think deeper as they explain their thought process behind the evaluations. In the feedback stage, students respond to and rate the evaluations they've received based on how critical and motivational they are. This encourages further reflection and discussion before the activity is completed. This cycle of evaluation encourages students to actively reflect on their own work and apply course concepts and knowledge while evaluating others' work. Instructors can view their students' grading power based on the calibration activities to identify student levels within the classroom and procure the proper resources needed for each student. In this learning environment, all students will demonstrate mastery in the same classroom and feel successful to obtain competencies that are needed post-graduation. Instructors can also spotlight creations and evaluations to demonstrate innovative and constructive work. With respect to the TEACH model, explicit feedback includes observable information or examples of areas of strengths and weaknesses. Kritik allows educators and students alike to be involved in every step of the learning process. Instructors can pave the way in the classroom and encourage students to make the most of their learning and produce meaningful work, whether it's in their own assignment or helping their classmates. Traditional teaching methods have restricted students from taking charge of their own learning. Pure learning alone won't transform the learning experience for students, but Kritik provides a structure with the TEACH model to allow them to develop fundamental soft skills. Educators and students collaborate on Kritik to deliver high-quality feedback and promote critical thinking and communication skills. This method of learning and teaching fosters a dynamic learning environment where students receive personalized feedback, actively apply their knowledge, learn new perspectives and ideas, and all in a timely manner. Additionally, instructors alleviate the grading burden because students receive multiple points of feedback on their work, allowing them to mentor their students and provide additional feedback when necessary. At the end of the peer assessment process, students have the resources and knowledge they need to become strong evaluators, critical thinkers, and masters of their competencies. For more information about the TEACH model or peer assessment, please visit our website at kritik.io and schedule a demo.